Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Jazwares Pokemon Select line Greninja. I wasn't going to get any more of these guys, but when I reviewed Charizard here, you guys asked me to review other ones, so I figured I'd review Greninja since he needs to be in the Smash collection anyway. I doubt I'm going to get a better scaled Greninja at any point, so I figured I'd grab it. What the heck, they're relatively inexpensive, and I thought I'd do it. We'll review it so you guys can see if it's worth getting or not, and maybe it's too big for the collection. You want to try to find something that's a better scale. I don't know. I'll give you the information so you can decide for yourself. But yeah, it's a pretty cool figure for what it is, so let's get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands, or I should say tries to stand. It has a very difficult time doing that. Let's say about 5.5 to the top of the actual head. No, 5.25 to the top of the actual head. 5.5 to whatever this thing whatever you want to call this is. I measured to like right here, so that gives you an idea. And that's going to make him roughly, and of course it depends on how you have his legs bent and everything. Let's just say 13.5 centimeters roughly. So yeah, he's a little bit big, I would say, but for a Smash collection, I don't know that it's going to matter that much since we're talking about a whole bunch of different lines of figures. Let me just show you what he looks like up against Charizard. He seems a bit big, especially for Smash collection, since Charizard should be big in Smash, relatively speaking. But if you pose him up just right, I think it'll do. Like, he's definitely got some size to him. I don't have my Mario or anybody handy right now, but I have done measurements for all of those figures in their respective reviews, so you should be able to take a gander and decide for yourself. But yeah, I think you're not going to get a better articulated Greninja figure than this anytime soon. So I think it's going to have to do as far as the Smash collection goes. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a question of the day. How do you guys feel about this Jazwares line of Pokemon figures? Do you like the fact that they're relatively well articulated and nicely painted and sculpted, even though they're not scaled in any sort of way? Or does the scaling throw it off too much for you? For me, considering Pokemon are all different sizes, like Rayquaza, for instance, would be gigantic, I think this is fine. What else are they going to do? I think this is perfectly acceptable. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the aesthetic. The aesthetic, not the accessories. The aesthetic on this guy is he's really well sculpted. I can't complain. They did everything they needed to do. He's got all the details sculpted on there that he needs. It's fine. No complaints with the sculpt at all. As far as the paintwork goes, it's really clean. Like the little marks on the legs, even the white down here on the arms, the legs, the head, the yellow spots. It's all super clean. I don't know how they're doing this. This seems like they're charging not enough for brand new sculpts with really good paint. But they are doing it, and it's working out. Like, it's not shaded or anything. It's not fancy, but it is super clean. It's very, very nice looking. So I have no complaints about that at all. Like, it could be cleaner around some edges, but it's definitely going to be good enough for pretty much anybody. So I'm definitely happy with this. So I'm going to give this guy an aesthetic rating of 9 out of 10. For the price point, they did a really, really good job. Now, as far as accessories go, we do get his 2 little water shurikens, which are nice translucent plastic with clean paint on them, and they peg into his hands, so it looks like he's holding them. So I like that. That'll be perfect for the Smash display. And he does come with a display stand, which has one extra segment on it compared to the Charizard one, since his peg is in his back rather than his peeper area, so that is good. It does hold him up just fine. It's a super basic stand, but it works, and I have no complaints. So that is good. I think that's all you need as far as accessories go for this price point. 9 out of 10. No complaints. They're doing a really good job with this line overall. But now we have to talk about the articulation, and that's where this does falter quite a bit. We're going to start with the best thing, though, and that is the tongue. And that's because we've seen some tails that look just like this tongue on SH Figure Arts Dragon Ball figures, and they have not been very well executed. They've had big ugly joints and things. This guy just has a few cuts in it. There's one here, one here, one here, and one here. And granted, they put some really sharp bends in it, so it looks a little strange in some places, but with just basic swivel joints and proper cuts, you can get really good posability out of something like this. So I don't know why they didn't do Cooler's tail like this or Frieza's tail. Just make it like one solid curve and then keep cutting it so that you can just rotate it around however you want, and that should be pretty good. And if you need a specific pose, then just put that in the package as its unique accessory. But I think the way they've done this is really clever and really effective, and I'm quite pleased with the way this all worked out. That's awesome. Now, let's talk about the rest of it. The whole head does move around. I think it's just a swivel. I don't get any other range out of it, so it does just swivel around down there. Shoulders are on ball hinges. They do raise up as high as they can. Obviously, they have your full rotation other than where that's in the way. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow works nicely. The plastic's not the best, so if you flex it too much, you'll get some stress marks very easily, but you do get good range out of that, and it's perfectly acceptable as far as looks. It's just a swivel for the wrist. It showed it had definitely been a ball peg. It wouldn't have cost them any more, and you'd get some extra posability out of that, but it is just a swivel. Some of the joints are a little floppy. This one could be a lot better. I imagine that's going to vary from figure to figure, but on this side it's fine, on this side it's loose. Torso is actually a really solid ball peg. Like, it's not crazy good, it's a little bit floppy, but you do get good range out of it, so that's nice. If you're going to use them on the display stand, you should be fine. For the hips, it's just a ball peg, and it's not super loose, so that's good. You get decent range going out to the side, going forward and back. It's definitely floppy out to the side a little bit, so that's a bummer, but you do get that little bit of thigh swivel built in. For the knee and the ankle, it is a swivel hinge, but they're super loose in the swivel, like way too loose, like floppy loose. Definitely a problem. And then the hinges are really tight, at least at first, but technically you get really good range out of them. It's just the swivels are so freaking loose, and then you get stress marks on the plastic, so be careful down here. Technically you can get in tons of poses, but it's also super loose and kind of fragile. So articulation's not, it's great in terms of concept, but in terms of execution, it's definitely lacking a little bit. So be aware of that. But if you get them in a cool pose and throw them on the display stand, I think you're going to be fine. Like, that's perfectly fine. I have no problem with that. For the price point, the sculpt, the paint, everything, I do wish he was a little bit smaller, but it's fine. Anyway, okay, so articulation, I'll give a 6 out of 10. Too many loose joints. Otherwise, it's awesome, but they're too loose. He can't stand on his own, not even close. So that's a problem, but I'm willing to accept it. You guys can decide if you are. So final verdict for this guy, for all you Pokemon fans who are looking for an articulated action figure line of Pokemon, this one's going to be fine. It'll definitely hit the spot. For all of you Smash collectors, it's going to hit the spot well enough. He's definitely a little bit too big. I don't think there's another one that's articulated that is in the right scale anyway for Smash. Like, this guy should probably be like an inch shorter, I think. Maybe only half an inch, but I don't think you're going to find one that's better and at a better scale, so I'd say go for it. It's relatively cheap, and it'll probably go up in price, at least a little bit, I'm guessing, because they don't cost that much, and people like Pokemon, but I'm happy with it. I'm going to give it a final verdict of 7 out of 10. I know I'm going to do 8. I'm going to do 8, because it is a brand new sculpt, it is well painted, it does have accessories, and it does have some really nice design as far as articulation goes. It's just the QC holding it back, and you know what, that's okay. So, yeah, there's my verdict. You guys can let me know how you feel about it in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.